Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this week's Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz. I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. Our mission here at the Productive Agent is to motivate, inspire, encourage, and educate those working in the real estate industry or those people thinking about getting in the real estate industry. I'm joined today by the unofficial co-host. He's committed to joining us at least once a month, maybe even more. We'll see if his schedule works out, but please welcome Shane Tokheim.
Hey, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane is my mentor and coach, and I'm probably have mentioned his name pretty much every single podcast as I'm talking about different topics. The last time you were here, you were with a different title company. You started the new year with a new title company. Talk to us a little bit about the transition. Who are you with now?
Yeah, so I think we did the first podcast or my first one in December, and I was just weeks away from starting at a new company. And so I've always said, like, it doesn't really matter that much about the name, but I joined Fidelity National Title of San Antonio, and I think that does make a little bit of difference in the name. You know, Fidelity is a very strong name in our industry, and so we brought back the brand Fidelity National Title to San Antonio. And a good friend of mine asked me to help him start that up. And so that's what I'm doing. So me and my whole team are over there at Fidelity National Title now.
Well, that's awesome, man. So you have a little bit of a different role. You were talking about it. I've seen you're pretty busy, obviously, getting things going and getting a new space, a temporary, trying to find a permanent.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about your new role, how that's changed a little bit, how it's affected you?
Yeah. So, I have basically the same title. It's like area manager or division manager, division president. Everybody calls it something different. I always think it's kind of funny to say division president, even though that's what I am. But yeah, it's not necessarily my role being different. It's just that starting up has got a lot of things on my plate, which I'm super excited about. It's kind of fun. I'm going to open a new space and I want it to be just perfect. And that's got me worried the most of anything. Location. It's true for us too. We want to be somewhere where it's easy for you to get, you and all the agents and, all the buyers and sellers.
Not just me.
Not just you,
want more
but you're,
people.
of course. Yeah. But, so in my mind, I'm always building this space that's perfect for title, which also would include, possibly this setup to have podcasts done at my office and then a media room. And obviously it's got to be nice for closing, the actual closing transaction. Sure. But as you know, I do a lot of group meetings. And so I need that space built in there as well. So that's really what's got my mind going as well as, developing a relationship with agents to bring in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was last Wednesday, I believe, we had that kickoff meeting. Of course, it was like the one day that it decided to rain, and some people decided to I can't drive in the rain because God forbid. All right. But talk to us a little bit about, those meetings that you've had consistently. I met you back in 2019, December of 2019, and it was a training. And you do a lot of that. You pour into a lot of agents. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you do for agents?
Yeah, I mean, the kickoff, which is kind of funny, in February, typically, you might do it in January or even December for the next year. But I wanted to just do it. And we talked a lot about accountability. And kind of, I related it to having a trainer or accountability partner when you're working out. And so we talked about what the percentage is you're more likely to go and do something if you have somebody there expected to meet you. And so that was kind of the basis of the meeting, but I felt like a lot of people got a lot out of it. It was a good turnout, and I'm excited to start up a weekly group again. So that's where that's headed.
Cool. Are you still committed to doing individual stuff? Because I know you focused a little bit more on the group setting, and they're all great. But I think we've talked about, the one-on-one is probably more powerful.
Yeah. That's funny. I don't know if it was you, but somebody brought that up in the class. And I would love to do, one-on-ones as much as I possibly can. But again, that's so time consuming. And then if you do it really well, you've got to have, you got to be totally invested. I mean, you got to have the notes, you got to have the past meeting and then the next meeting, homework, and keeping everybody accountable. So it gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
And so I could see myself doing it, but probably not for free. So, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I'm torn between
this
that.
Friendship is over.
Yeah. I like the groups. I guess because maybe I'm up in front and talking. I don't know if I don't really know, but I'm open to doing one-on-ones. I do some. And at one point I had about 17 people that I was meeting with one-on-one. That's how I learned how hard it is. Yep. And so I have a lot of respect and now I see why people charge even a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't typically, but that's definitely optional. I probably could see myself doing that this year.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about more fun stuff. You went to Vegas this past weekend for the Super Bowl. How was that? What was your weekend like?
Yeah, you know Bobby pretty well. So Bobby posted, I saw our annual Super Bowl boys trip or something like that, which, this is only the second time I've done it. But he's only done it, I think, 3 times. But I guess you got to start somewhere to be annual, right?
If it's 2 times, it's annual.
Exactly. But he has gone 3 in a row.
Okay.
I just didn't go last year. I can't remember why. But yeah, it's always a good time. I mean, Vegas is always fun. But during the Super Bowl, there's a whole different crowd there. Mm-hmm. And we had a reservation at a little eatery, not even a bar really, but it was a great thing. You could eat all you could eat, and all you could drink too. But of course, Bobby and I don't drink. But you could get all the alcohol you wanted. But of course, we didn't have any. And then it's funny to see like the Chiefs fans, and there's the Philadelphia fans,
the roller coaster ride of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this one guy, and Bobby, he's got that quick, temper. This Chiefs fan dressed in Mahomes shirt. He's up there pounding on the TV and everything. And Bobby's like, sit down, dude. And so then the guy apologized to him. So it was kind of funny. But the atmosphere, it was just incredible out there. Although we were betting on the wrong team. So
you should have called me. I would have told you which team.
For sure.
But it's all good. Well, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you joining us. I know you're going to bring some great quality to this podcast, at least monthly, and we'll see if we get you even on the show more.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never done it before. You invited me, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I found myself wanting to do it myself, although I don't think I could, but I'm happy to be here with you. But then I found myself, I think you made it a little competitive, like trying to see how we could take it to the next level. And we kind of did, like in a short amount of time.
Yeah, well, I do expect that from this podcast going forward, at least once a month. So again, I want to remind you, if you're enjoying these podcasts, I'm getting some great messages from some past students, some past clients, so on and so forth. Share the show, guys. We're not running ads here to promote the show. It's just word of mouth. All right. So Shane did an awesome job, as Shane and Ashley Pena had a little competition going to see which one
want to call it that.
It was kind of a blowout. So we'll see if Ashley steps up her game. But he sent out the YouTube clip, and it just like skyrocketed in views overnight, and that was cool to see.
That's one good thing about having a big family.
Yeah, exactly. Just
mostly my family.
I see downloads from like Iowa and stuff. By the way, the second most popular city for downloads is Austin, Texas. Oh, wow. And I don't know if I know a single agent in Austin.
Yeah.
So the people that are listening in Austin, send me a private message. I'd love to just meet you sometime, or, over online, or maybe even in person. So that was kind of cool. Yeah. It's kind of cool to see all the different places that download it. But let's get to the show, guys. So today's episode is number 21. It's entitled Reasons to Call Your Sphere and Past Clients. This is something that I've openly struggled with sometimes. And we go back and forth. And every time Shane talks to me about this, I go, God, it sounds so easy. And it is, right?
Yeah,
it really is. And when I do these things, it's just like, wow, that really was that easy. Why am I overthinking this? But I think sometimes we get caught up with, well, what the hell am I going to talk to them about? What am I calling them about? And it could literally be anything. I mean, we're building this list of 15 things we're going to talk about here, but we could have spent the next 10 minutes coming up with another 30.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so let's get into some of them. Let's talk about some of them. And who knows, as we're going, we might even think about a few more that we want to share. But come up with ideas with a partner, that's in the business. So the first one, talk to us about this. This has made a big impact on my business, the birthday campaign.
Yeah. I don't know where I got that from, but I've been talking about it for years. But before I even say that, it's funny, like when I talk to you or even the class or whoever, when they say I struggle with what I'm going to say to the past clients, I always say, okay, take out your pen and write this down. This is a good one. How are you? Question mark. Everybody's like, that's it? Like, yeah, that's it. I mean, hey, what's wrong with calling people and ask them how they are? Hey, this is Tony. How are you? Most people are going to say like, hey, Tony, oh my God, so good to hear from you. And I know that happens to you all the time. And yet you struggle with, what should I say? Well, that's plenty. And then just let them talk and tell you how they are. And then they're going to ask you too. So that's good too. But the birthday campaign, So, I don't know. I want to give the credit where credit's due, but I'm not 100% sure. It probably was Ninja Selling, but it seems like I've been doing it longer than I've read that book.
Yeah,
so
I don't remember it.
I'm not sure. I remember I have this agent that's very close to me. And when we first started together, she was just a new agent on her own. She had come from a team, and she was struggling a little bit with like what to do, like just same as you. Like, what am I going to say to people? Or not even that, like, what should I even do? And so I remember calling her after my lunch one day, and I said like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing nothing. I don't know what to do. And I said, you know what you should do? You should start a birthday campaign. I think, you know what? Because I was doing it. I used to do that more than I do now. That's why. And I was using this service to send out cards.
Yeah.
And she said to me, well, what is that, a birthday campaign? I said, well, you just call your past clients and ask them when their birthday is. And she said, well, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just get them off of Facebook. And I said, no, you want to make the call. The whole thing is about the call. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And so months go by, and of course, me reiterating and reassuring her that that's what she should do. Finally, she did it. Now it's one of her biggest things where she gets her referrals from. And she's a high producing agent. I know you know what I'm talking about.
I would say she is.
We won't go there, but and she also, she's great at it. So I mean that helps.
Sure.
Yeah. So the birthday campaign, just get your clients' birthdays and send them something. Yeah. Call them, text them, whatever. I mean, all of those three things should be done. I mean, I always say my car guy, he calls me, texts me, he emails me, and he sends me a card. So yeah, all four of those things he does.
Yeah, I've definitely incorporated it into my business, at least on some kind of level. But I have cheated. I've gone through the Facebook, and that's a good start, right? Yeah. It gives you a decent amount. But then I'll come across that somebody's like pretty close to me, and they're not on Facebook, and I'm like, shit, I missed her birthday. Yeah, you know. So yeah, going back to, if you don't have their birthday, perfect reason to call, right? Hey, I want to send you a little something on your birthday this year. Yeah, this is what, and I love what you say. You're like, hey, I just met with my coach. Yeah. You know, because so many people that are not in this type of business, they're like, you have a coach? What do you mean you have a coach? You know, and so that perks an interest. And it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, you're growing and all these things. So a birthday campaign, I have a Google Calendar that I put them on. Like Shane Tokheim is December somewhere late. 30. Yeah. I knew it was late December. But yeah, on my Google Calendar, I don't have to memorize it because it's there when it pops up. Yeah. So highly recommend it. Home anniversary. This is another good one. This one has slipped through my grasp a little bit. And sometimes I'm like, shit, I don't remember exactly the date. I know kind of it was around this date.
But Google Sheets, again, I mean, why isn't it there?
Because you know, I need to step up my game. Yeah. But yeah, home anniversary.
It should be there. And that way it'll pop right up on your calendar. Everybody there's like how many of our past clients you got. Yeah. As well, the buyers, you know, the sellers, of course. You know, maybe they bought, maybe they didn't. You don't know. So, but the seller are the buyers for sure. I mean, that's an easy one. You know, can you believe it's been 5 years since we bought that house? You know, how is the house, by the way? Do you need a new one? You know, I mean, you know, that's such an easy call.
Yeah, for sure. And going right along with that, especially at the first year. Right. The next one is on our list is home warranty expiration. Right. So they more than likely they got some kind of home warranty, whether that be a pre-owned home or a new build or whatever. Right. But it's like, hey, your home warranty is expiring. I could connect you with somebody. You want to elaborate on that?
The home warranty. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. You know, I mean, did you? I was listening. I swear to God. But it's all good. Yeah, like your home warranty is expired. I can either send you the information. I can email it to you. You know, is there any major problems that you're having? It's a good conversation starter, like you're trying to do. Of how's your house? Is anything gone, you know, wrong or anything gone right? You know, I mean, how is it? Is it too small now? Is it too big now? Is everything okay with your house?
You just had a fifth kid.
I know it's a good time to check in right then. You know, and they're going to tell you like, oh my God, we were just thinking about you. You know, and probably most of your calls that you finally do are that like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you, Tony. Yeah. In fact, I have somebody in my circle that I text weekly that knows Tony too. And it's so funny. It was one of Tony's band parents.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know, that's crazy. Yeah. And he's like, Tony's the best. I'm like, I know. I'm surprised he hasn't reached out to you. You know, that's so funny. Yeah. But that goes to show you, like you could call every single band parent and every one of your band parents would be like, oh my God, that was the best teacher, you know?
Yeah. That's true. That's a good one.
You like the way I work that in? Like, you're not doing this.
Yeah, he subtly calls me out as much as possible, but it's he means the most for it.
For sure.
And I appreciate that. But this is a bonus one. I'm throwing this one in there. This time of year is the tax exemption form.
Yeah.
All right. So I know some of my newer clients, maybe first time home buyers, they're like, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
You know, that they just don't know. So it's like, hey, download this form, turn it in. You want to make sure that you file that tax exemption, homestead exemption.
Homestead, yeah.
So that's another one, bonus number 16.
Yeah.
But just in your neighborhood, I did use this one. I was driving around showing houses, and it just dawned on me, like, I crossed this, different area of town that I'm usually not. And I'm like, oh, what's her name lives over here? I sold her that house, so I texted her, called her. I don't remember.
You just texted her.
I probably texted her. Yeah, more likely I just texted her. But hey, she responded.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, she was telling me she was doing some improvements to the kitchen and this and that. I was like, I had no idea, So just having those connections of like, hey, I was just in your neighborhood, just thinking of you,
just in your neighborhood, as all of these should be. Like, happy birthday, just in your neighborhood. And when you call and say like, hey, I was just in your neighborhood and I thought about you, that's real. That's coming from your heart. Yeah. You're not faking it. You're genuine. Not trying to think of something. You're just saying like, I was just in your neighborhood and it's real, and you were. Or maybe you weren't, but you maybe just thought of them for that reason. But I mean, as long as these calls are real, I mean, you're gonna win. That's what we're trying to do: win every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Past coworker or friend.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
Yeah.
And I use this from time to time, and it's just organic. Really, I don't really overthink it.
Right.
It's like if I was talking to my good friend Joseph, it immediately makes me think about Colton, who we worked together. Yep. The three of us were assistants together, I
was just talking to one of our mutual coworkers, so Danny Charbel, you know him, right? Yeah. He's a good friend of mine, and he's also a really high producing agent, funny enough. And so he was talking to my good friend Bobby at their office, and he calls me and says, hey, we were just talking about you. And so that's real from him, and he has nothing to gain by that. So that is maybe not a good example. We're not necessarily trying to gain. Yeah. We're just trying to connect with as many people as we can. And you know how flattered I am that Danny Charbel calls me, and Bobby, of course, is my good friend forever. But the two of them really talked. My name came up, and he called me. Yeah. Just like you should.
Well, and again, it's not so much you're making these calls to get business.
Right.
You're just staying in flow.
That's right.
Yeah. And Ninja Selling talks about that all the time. If you're in flow with so many people, your business is going to be thriving. That's
exactly right. Yeah.
So I definitely want to point that out. These aren't things to like call and be like, hey, do you have business?
Yeah.
Can I get a house? Yeah. Do you know somebody? Yeah. If it naturally comes up, it naturally comes up. Right. And it usually does. Yeah. But these are introductions of like, how's it going?
Yeah.
Events coming up. I like this one. I haven't done one. I've been talking about it for like 6 months. I'm itching to do an event. I'm going to go to JJ's training tomorrow. He talks about, hosting events and putting those on. So talk to us a little bit about that. I know you've experienced that, done that.
Sure.
What does that look like?
Yeah, we do an event at our house twice a year. And, Helen, of course, calls everyone on the list to see if they're coming or not coming. And, even when they don't come, it's still a good chance to catch up for the year, because you only see them twice a year, some of them face to face. So that's a great time. But you can do any event. Our events are pretty elaborate, and they're long and at our house and everything, but it's fun. Everybody has a good time. But you could do anything. There's a national ice cream day, burger day, cheeseburger, French fry, cupcake. Every day there's every week, or, so there's a national holiday national day of something.
Right.
That's a good opportunity for you to go and sit at whatever the place is, an ice cream store, and call 10 people and say like, hey, it's National Ice Cream Day, and I'm here at the ice cream store. If you come by, I'll buy you one, If nothing else, they're going to be like, oh, so nice. And it's truly from the heart. You're not, like you said, trying to gain business. You're just establishing relationships.
Yeah, you're just thinking about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And more than likely, they probably don't have time to go out of their way. So it's not like you're going to be buying like 20 ice creams, but some might show up and they're like, hey, thanks for the offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're in good standing for the time.
I love those, because they're real. Those things are all real. Or you go to Starbucks a lot, just meeting people there and then calling them afterwards or dropping them a note, either one. But we're talking about calls, so call.
All right. New listing. This is definitely something that obviously has I have a new listing, by the way, coming up Thursday, out in Converse, below the medium price point of San Antonio. So if you're interested or know somebody that's interested, let me know. But that's a perfect reason to call, because especially if you know somebody that lives in that area. Hey, do you have any family that wants to move closer? Yeah. Whatever it is. Or especially now, a lot of realtors are noticing that houses are sitting on the market longer. All right. So it used to be you put up a new listing and it's gone that weekend. All right. So you really don't have any reason to call. But now I'm going, man, these houses aren't moving. Yeah. Do you know anybody? Yeah. Who do you know?
Or from a past conversation, I know you like to go to the lake. If my listing's on the lake, or I know you're looking for an investment property, or I know you want to build your rental inventory or portfolio. I had, the last time we talked, you mentioned, and so I'm calling you to see is this one, or do you know somebody, or does your family, or you were mentioning to me that your cousin's building a rental portfolio or whatever, you know, build on those past conversations that you had with past clients.
And I love this one. I haven't really used it, but I need to now because again, I have a couple listings, by the way. Anybody that wants to, I had 2 listings out in Fisher, Texas, 12 minutes from Canyon Lake.
Oh, wow.
So they're on 1 acre lots, side by side. One's on a corner. Beautiful new builds by Villaterra Homes. So if you know anybody that's looking to buy there. But what I love about that one is, maybe they don't know somebody that's looking to buy that particular area, but they might go, oh, but I have a friend that's looking to buy.
Exactly.
I need their name.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a quick way to get a hold of somebody. Continuing on our list, 1 week/month check-in. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, this is another one that I slack on, and I should be better at it. I just need to put it in my calendar so I don't forget. But again, the 1 week, have you moved in? Everything's settled in. The month.
Yeah, I did read that in a book. Have you found the mailbox? Have you met your neighbors? All those things. It's just a quick, it's a must call. Like a week after closing, you should call them and say, like, all of those things. Have you met the neighbors? Did anything come up that we didn't discuss? Everything's okay. All those things. Yeah. Quick and easy calls.
Yeah. No, I like that. What would 1 month look like? I mean,
basically the same thing. I mean, there's probably a script, but I hate scripts. Yeah. If you call them after a week, probably not much is going to change in a month unless they mention something at the week. Then you should write it down and check back with them in a month to see if they've overcome whatever that issue was.
Yeah, and maybe maybe it's not okay. I did my week and my month. I don't need to talk to them until a year, but you probably want to follow up before then.
Sure. Maybe at least a text or, something.
3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. Just how's it going? Is there anything you need help with? So those are always good, right? And it definitely makes that client feel like you are thinking about them beyond just the transaction.
For sure.
So I like this one. This is one that I do. But you're going to get after me. I don't call them. Yeah. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But it's usually a text. Facebook recognition and events. So part of my business plan is I'll actually Facebook stalk. Yeah. All right. And I just sit down for 5-10 minutes at a time every now and then throughout the day. And I'll scroll on Facebook and like some comments, like some posts. But the more important ones are when I actually leave a comment or like I see somebody's birthday, right? That's the easiest one. Maybe they're not on my birthday campaign because not everybody can be on my birthday campaign. But what I do is if I have their phone number, I'll send them a text message rather than just putting happy birthday on the Facebook like a bajillion other people. Yeah. But there's a perfect reason. Oh, I didn't know this person got married. I had a past student that just got married this past weekend. So I made a note. It's like, oh, I need to call her and say, hey, congratulations, or at least text her. Yeah. Of course, you'll say call, but
well, because this calls or this podcast is about calls. Yeah. But I think as long as you're taking action, that's pretty good, but if your goal is to do a certain amount of calls, then these are reasons to call also. So if you've already made your 10 texts, then make 10 calls, and you do some of each. Yeah. But those are really good ones. When I'm on Facebook, which is not very often, and I should probably be more, but I'm usually going to text them too. And sometimes I just say, nice post. And they know what I'm talking about. Sure. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then I do like to call. I mean, I do like there is good coming from calls. I mean, that's real. And I think people, it's funny, like Bobby now doesn't hardly text. Every time I text him, he calls me. And I'm always like, dude, I'm busy. But I appreciate that. I mean, he literally calls me almost every time I text him, which is interesting. Yeah. And so I think that that's good, but I think a lot of people, like you included, are thinking like, yeah, but they're working, or I don't want to bother anybody. But the thing is, just like you, if a call's bothering you, you just don't take it. It's okay. Nobody's offended by it. You shouldn't be offended.
Sure.
They just don't answer it. Yeah. I tell everybody, look, you're never, ever, if I answer the phone, you're not bothering me, obviously.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have answered it.
Sure.
And so who cares if they don't? Leave them a message. Be prepared to leave them a message.
Yeah.
If it's their birthday, sing them happy birthday on the message. Whatever.
You don't want me singing.
Yeah, me either. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, It's okay if somebody doesn't answer. Big deal. Move to the next one.
I like following up immediately with a text message.
Yes, me too.
So I don't like the voicemail game. I never listen to my voicemails. I will when I'm deleting all of them.
Yeah.
So I just immediately get off when it goes to voicemail, and I just text them.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, I just want to say happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day, blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe I just leave it at that, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Call them. If they don't answer, fine, leave a message.
You're not bothering people if they, you say the same thing, but you don't feel the same way. Like, if I call you, 3 times a day, you'll probably answer at least one of them, if not 2. But if I called you 3 times a day, I'm still not bothering you. I know you want to talk to me. I wrote that down too. That's funny. I feel like I'm more confident that people want to talk to me. I feel like people need and want to talk to me, and my confidence level is very high. So I have no call reluctance.
Yeah.
I'll call anybody anytime. I even tell you that, like, give me your list. I'll call them too. And so I think people need to get over themselves thinking I'm bothering somebody, because you're just not.
Maybe at the end of the show, we'll call Debbie. We'll
see. Please. I would love to.
We'll put that on the next episode. Long story. We'll talk about it later. But here's a good one. Let's go grab a beer. Let's go grab some coffee. Let's just catch up. Hey, man, let's go grab dinner. There's a couple band parents that I've really enjoyed, working with, and they're band parent presidents. And still to this day, I mean, it has been a while, so we probably need to set up a time to go grab dinner. But every now and then we'll just go grab dinner, and just catch up. And their son is off at University of Oregon, doing great things. Their daughters graduate from Texas State, and just friends, just acquaintances, enjoy each other's company. I have a client right now that's, getting ready to get into the buying process. And he's like, hey, man, like, we can just go grab a beer and hang out. I'm like, yeah, we could totally do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no it doesn't have to be business.
For sure.
And I think we overthink it.
It's funny when you or Simon or, sorry, any of my people post like, oh, had a great lunch or, something. I'm like, where's my call? I mean, I'm offended when you don't call me. So I think, again, we overthink stuff. People want to be invited places and want to be asked, how are you? And, that's the right thing to do. So I just don't understand the call. I do understand it, but I guess I just don't have it.
Yeah. Well, again, and that's the whole reason of this podcast is to go take 3 of these. There you go. I feel really comfortable doing that. Here's another one. We have a few more. Congratulations for anything.
Yeah.
Right. So again, going back to use Facebook as a tool. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Facebook. I'm not obsessed with it. I don't stay on it the whole time. I post in the morning. I try to, and then I leave it alone and just let it collect comments. And if somebody responds, I try to respond. But you can scroll through Facebook and get a lot of information from like all of your people, So it's like, oh shit, I didn't know they had a baby. Oh, maybe I should send them a little congratulations and some Starbucks gift cards.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Or, oh, I didn't. They just recently got married. So these aren't.
It could be calls. They're supposed to be calls, remember?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So like, if they had a baby, call them up, say, oh my God, congratulations. Everything, congratulations on anything. I drove a Jeep for a while. And when somebody I see buys a new Jeep, I want to call them and be like, hey, congratulations. It was the best time of my life having that Jeep, or whatever it happens to be. I saw you went to a Spurs game. I saw you did this. I saw you did that. So much fun. And just connect with them on your experience and hear about their experience with the same thing you've done.
Sure. Obviously, this one's a market update. You know what I struggle with market updates? Everybody's like, you got to market update. It's like, is the market really changing that often? Like I mean, yes, it can, but it's like, this is the market update. It's pretty similar to what it was about a week ago, so I hate to kind of every week give a market update. Now I will drop, here's the numbers of Sabre and all that stuff. But if you're going, this is a different market than it was a year ago, which is very different. We're getting seller concessions now, which means less money out of pocket for buyers. We need to educate people on that, especially those people that are maybe on the fence. Maybe they struggled last year with the market and now hey, it's a better situation. I know the interest rates are higher right now, but this is the situation that you could save some money up front and then refinance down the road. So we need to have those conversations.
Those seem like they'd be specific calls. I didn't write that one down, did I? You must have.
I probably didn't write that down. My bad.
But no, anything's a good call, but I'm saying that's probably specific to maybe somebody that's buying right now, and you could be calling them, monthly, maybe weekly, and saying like, hey, the rate dropped a half a point, or, just wanted you to be aware, I still get you on my search, but I just want you to know rates dropped.
Sure. That's probably somebody like in your sphere that's like on your warm list. Like they're kind of considering it, they're not necessarily like, I want to do something right now, but they're thinking about it. Refinance information.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about the buy down, 2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Hey, this is what we're predicting going forward. Refinance. Everybody's saying 2024 might be the year to refinance, as things might dip down below 5. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, so any information on that?
Yeah, no, I just what you said. I mean, we both have a good friend that told the story that he would wait for the line at like Valero to be long, and then he'd stand in line and he'd yell out, hey, is anybody here paying too much for their mortgage? And he's a loan officer, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, people's ears perk up. And so those are good calls when people in your sphere are paying too much for their mortgage. So yeah, I mean, they can't wait for that call, so it all depends. That's another kind of specific crowd, but you never know.
I like to put these, I have like a weekly email that goes out to my sphere.
Yeah.
So these are like little hooks, little carrots. They're like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And then follow it up with the call. Say like, hey, I don't know if you saw my email this week, but rates dropped a half a point or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Remodeling of house.
Yeah.
I saw somebody remodel their house. Beautiful. They finally got around to their master bath. It looks great. I saw it on Facebook again. You just gather this information. So I dropped a comment. We're just staying in the flow. I've actually done a transaction with their family before. But, hey, we're remodeling our house. This has been our experience. Hey, we're getting solar panels on our house. This is my experience. This is the cost, et cetera. This is why I'm doing it. Just wanted to share that with you. Let me know if you are interested in that.
I think also good notes in your SOI or in your
database
on anybody that's ever mentioned, we want to remodel our kitchen or bathroom, whatever it is. And then you call them right away and say like, hey, our mutual friend or my buddy or I just remodeled and it looks great. I thought about you right away. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll send you over the contractor's information or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean the last one that is on our list here is a contractor list, and again, I've been meaning to do this for a while. It's on my to-do list. It still hasn't been crossed off, but yeah, it's pairing up and partnering up with other realtors and going, hey, who do you use for plumbing? Yeah. Hey, who do you use? Who's your electrician? I know my neighbor across the street. He obviously moved in before I did, but he has an Airbnb, and he has like contractors that, oh, this guy does my lawn, this guy does my this guy does my that. So creating that and just providing that, maybe it's a mail out, maybe it's an email, and then following up with the call, right? And going, hey, I sent you some information on some contractors. Did you get that? Oh, cool. If you ever need anything, just let me know. I'll put you in contact with them.
Absolutely. I've done that a lot. And so now all my people, my electrician, my handyman, all those guys are so busy, they can hardly take my calls. And so I'm real careful about doing that now, but no, I'm kidding kind of, but that's a great way to make a phone call.
Cool. So that's our list, our official list. A lot of that was thought by Shane, and he shared that with us. And then we added a few more here. I think I gave you a bonus one in there as well. But is there anything else in this conversation?
Yeah, it's funny. I think I've hit on this several times already. I really think that the list of the list of reasons to call is not the real reason people aren't calling. I really think it's what I said, the confidence, maybe what to say, but it's really just knowing that people want to hear from you. And I think, for those people that are listening or watching, if you need someone to talk to about that, of course, Tony and I'd be happy to, but get with somebody, get a coach, get a mentor. Of course, if you're here in San Antonio, we'd love to talk to you, but if you're not, find somebody or reach out to Tony. It's not just here in San Antonio, but people want to hear from you. And I can't stress that enough. And if you're in real estate, you're supposed to be the expert. So become the expert, have confidence and make those phone calls. It's not, you're putting reasons in the mind of the person on the other end of the call when they're really not there. It's really only in your mind. And so you just got to get over that and make the calls.
Yeah. Overthinking, take action.
Overthinking, yeah.
I will say that I think some of these, are definitely good reasons of create your birthday campaign. That's something you could start today. Get off this podcast and start doing your birthday campaign and going, holy crap, I have 200 people in my database and I only know 50 of their birthdays. I got 150 phone calls to start making.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason. So take a few of these, implement them into your business and see your business grow. We want to thank you for joining us today and listening. Let me check my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, if you found value in this, share the show. All right. We're trying to grow this. I challenge Shane to share it as much as he did last time. Let's see if you could beat your numbers last time. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
All right. But share the show, guys. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes. We're releasing 2 episodes a week. And leave us a review and rating. And you can also join our private Facebook group at The Productive Agent and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All of the links are in the show notes. And I look forward to connecting with you in person or online. So thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.